Hello viewers, welcome to our channel Career Prep. In this video, we'll solve a few problems on linear seating arrangement where people will be arranged in a single row where some will face in one direction whereas the others will face another direction. Before we start, please subscribe to our channel. Also press the bell icon to get notification as soon as we post a new video. So let's start. Remember these points before you start solving the problem. Read the information given in the problem. Draw a straight horizontal line. Mark as many positions as the number of persons given in the problem. If mentioned, then mark positions with arrows pointing in the direction mentioned in the problem. Start with direct information to fix the positions of the persons. Then look for information that makes a reference to the fixed persons so that there is a continuity. Always note the conditions given in short form and represent them pictorially. If you are unable to get any useful information from a sentence, then it's better to skip that line and move on to the next line. Then re-examine the skipped sentence after going through the other sentences. Note the information given in the skipped sentence in short form and represent them pictorially for easy reference later on. Study the following information carefully and answer the given questions. 8 persons A, B, C, D, P, Q, R and S are sitting in a row in which some of them are facing north while some of them are facing south. Only 3 persons sit to the left of R. 3 persons sit between R and Q. B is second to the left of Q. More than 2 people sit between B and S. D is second to the left of S. Neighbors of R are facing south. Neighbors of P face the same direction. C is second to the right of A. A and P face opposite directions and similarly B and Q face opposite directions too. Now before you start solving the problem, first draw a straight horizontal line and mark 8 positions for these 8 persons. Then look for any direct information in the given statements to mark the position of the persons. Here, only 3 persons sit to the left of R is direct information which helps us to fix the position of R. Next, look for any other statement which refers to R and then continue from that statement to solve the problem. It's given only 3 persons sit to the right of R. But since we do not know in which direction R is facing, there are two possibilities here. Either R can face north or R can face south. So draw two possible diagrams. In case 1, where R faces north, mark R here facing north. So that now you can see that there are 3 persons sitting to the left of R. Now in case 2 where R faces south, mark R here facing south. Now you can see there are 3 persons sitting to the left of R. Now it's given 3 persons sit between R and Q. So in the first case, mark Q here. Now you can see there are 3 persons sitting between R and Q. In case 2, mark Q here so that there are 3 persons sitting between R and Q. Now it's given B sits second to the left of Q. Now in case 1, if Q faces south, obviously there will be no positions to the left of Q. So Q now has to face north. Only if Q faces north, then B can sit second to the left of Q. Also, it's given B and Q face opposite directions. So if Q faces north, then B will face south. So in case 1, mark Q such that Q faces north. Then second to the left of Q will be B. Since B and Q face opposite directions, since B will face south direction since Q is facing north. Now it's given neighbors of R are facing south. So mark the neighbors of R facing south. Now let's move on to case 2. In case 2, if Q faces north, obviously there will be no place to the left of Q. So Q has to face south. If Q faces south, then two places to the left of Q will be B. It's given that B and Q face opposite directions. So if Q faces south, then B will face north. So in case 2, mark Q facing south. Then two places to the left of Q will be B. Mark B facing north. It's given neighbors of R are facing south. So mark the neighbors of R as facing south. So now case 1 looks like this and case 2 looks like this. It's given more than 2 people sit between B and S. This means either 3 or 4 persons are sitting between B and S. So in case 1, you cannot place S here because then there won't be any person sitting between B and S. You cannot place S here also because then there will be no person sitting between B and S. If you place S here, then between B and S there will be only 2 persons. So you cannot place S here also. So you can place S here, then there will be 3 persons between B and S, or you can place S here, then there will be 4 persons between B and S. So S can be placed either here or here. Now it's given that D is second to the left of S. So supposing you place S here and S is facing north, then obviously there won't be any places to the left of S. But supposing S is facing south, then two places to the left of S will be R. So this place is already occupied by R. So obviously this position is not for S. So let's consider that S's place is here. So finally S is sitting in this position. Now you can see that there are 4 persons between B and S. Also D is second to the left of S. So obviously S has to face south, only then D can sit second to the left of S. So in case 1, the positions of S and D will be like this. Now let's move on to case 2. Here also between B and S, either 3 persons or 4 persons should be sitting. So S can sit either here or here. If this is S's position, then between B and S there will be 3 persons. If this is S's position, then between B and S there will be 4 persons sitting. Now D is second to the left of S. So supposing we consider this as the position of S, then and if S is facing north, then to the left of S will be this position, but this position is already occupied by R. And supposing S is facing south, then there won't be any position second to the left of S. So this is not the position for S. So the remaining position is only this for S. So let's place S in this position facing north. So if S is facing north, then second to the left of S will be this position for D. So the positions of S and D will be like this in case 2. So now we have case 1 and case 2 like this. Now it's given that the neighbors of P face the same direction. So let's consider case 1. P can be placed here because neighbors of P will face the same direction. P cannot be placed here because the neighbors are facing opposite directions. P also cannot be placed here because the neighbors are facing opposite direction. So the only place for P in case 1 is this position. So place P in that place. Now let's consider case 2. P cannot sit here because the neighbors are facing opposite directions. P cannot sit here because again the neighbors are facing opposite directions. Also P cannot be placed here because the neighbors are facing opposite directions. So uh, case 2 gets eliminated because there is no place for P here. Now finally we are left with only case 1. And in case 1 the position of P is here. Next it's given that C is second to the right of A. So if this is the position of P, then only these two places are left for A. Supposing you place A here, then second to the right of A will be this position, but that is already occupied by D. So C cannot sit here. So this is not the position for A. So obviously this will be the position for A. So if C has to sit to the right of A, then A has to be facing south. Only then the second to the right of A will be this position which can be occupied by C. So place A here pointing facing towards the south. Then second to the right of A will be C. It's also given that A and P face opposite direction. So now we know that A is facing south. So obviously P will be facing north. So this is the final arrangement for the positions of A, B, C, D, P, Q, R and S. So this is the final arrangement for the positions of A, B, C, D, P, Q, R and S. Based on this final arrangement, let's answer the given questions. How many persons sit to the left of P? You're given 5 options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So we have to find out how many persons sit to the left of P. So P is here and to the left of P is, yes, only one person is sitting to the left of P. So the correct answer is option A, 1. Who among the following is third to the right of B? You're given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So you have to find out who is sitting third to the right of B. So B is here. Third to the right of B will be 1, 2, 3. Third to the right of B will be 1, 2, 3, which is D. So The correct answer is option C, D. Which of the following combinations correctly shows the neighbors of D? Here you are given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So you have to find the neighbors of D. So D is here. Neighbors of D are P and R. So the correct option is D, option D, P and R. Who among the following sits at the extreme left end of the row? You are given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So at the extreme left end of the row, S is sitting at the extreme left end of the row. The correct answer is option B, S. How many persons sit between D and A? You are given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So you have to find out how many persons sit between D and A. D and A. There are 1, 2, 3. 3 persons sitting between D and A. The correct answer is option C, 3. Study the following information carefully and answer the given questions. 8 persons A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H are sitting in a straight line but not necessarily in the same order. Some of them are facing north while some are facing south. E faces north. Only 3 people sit to the left of E. Only 2 people sit between E and B. F sits third to the right of H. H is not an immediate neighbor of E or B. H does not sit at any of the extreme ends of the line. The only neighbor of D faces north. D is not an immediate neighbor of H. A is sitting second to the left of D. A faces the same direction as H. The persons sitting at the extreme ends face opposite directions. C faces the same direction as D. F faces south. Now before you start solving the problem, you'll see that it's given that there are 8 persons sitting in a straight line. So first draw a straight horizontal line and mark 8 places for these 8 persons. Then among the given statements, find which statement gives you the direct information which will help you to fix the position of a person. Here only 3 people sit to the left of E is direct information which helps us to fix the position of E. Next, look out for statements which refer to E and continue from that statement to solve the problem. It's given E faces north and only 3 people sit to the left of E. So obviously you have to mark E here facing north. Only then 3 people can sit to the left of E. Now it's given only 2 people sit between E and B. Now there are 2 possibilities. In case 1, B can sit here so that there are 2 persons sitting between E and B. Or as in case 2, B can sit here so that there are 2 persons between E and B. So B can sit either to the uh, left of E or as in case 1 or to the right of E as in case B. Now it's given that H is not an immediate neighbor of E or B. H does not sit at any of the extreme ends of the line. So let's consider case 1. H is not an immediate neighbor of E or B. So H cannot sit here, H cannot sit here, H cannot sit here. Since H does not sit at the extreme ends of the line, H cannot sit here also. So the only positions remaining for H are this and this. So H can sit here or H can sit here. Let's consider case 2. H is not an immediate neighbor of E or B. So H cannot sit here, H cannot sit here, H cannot sit here, and H cannot sit here. H also does not sit at the extreme end of the line. So this is also not the position for H. So the only remaining position for H in case 2 is this. So mark H at this position. Now it's given F sits third to the right of H and F faces south. So in case 1, if you consider uh, the position of H is this one, then if H is facing north, then there are no places third to the right of H. Supposing H faces south, then third to the right of H will be this position, which is already occupied by E. So F cannot sit here. So obviously this is not the position for H. So clearly the remaining position, this position, will be for H. And here also, if H faces north, then there won't be any position third to the right of H. So obviously H will face south. Then third to the left of H will be 1, 2, 3. And this position will be for F, and F is facing south. So mark H in this position facing south, and F in this position third to the right of H facing south in case 1. In case 2, F sits third to the right of H. So if H is facing south, then there are no positions third to the right of H. So obviously has to face north. Then third to the right of H will be 1, 2, 3. So F can sit here facing south. So mark H facing north and mark F here third to the right of H facing south. Now case 1 looks like this and case 2 looks like this. It's given that the only neighbor of D faces north. This means that D has only one neighbor. The only neighbor of D means D has only one neighbor. So you cannot place D here because then D will have two neighbors. D also cannot be placed here because again he'll have two neighbors. D cannot sit here because again there will be two neighbors. So the only position for D is this. Then he'll have only one neighbor. So place D here in case 1. In case 2, D cannot sit here because it's already given that D is not an immediate neighbor of H. So D cannot sit here or here. D cannot sit here because then he'll have two neighbors. So the only position remaining for D in case 2 is this one. So mark D in that position in case 2. Now it's given A is sitting second to the left of D. So in case 1, this is the position of D, and second to the left of D can only happen if D faces north. Then second to the left of D will be this position, which is already occupied by H. So A cannot sit here. So now case 1 is eliminated because there is no place for A. Let's consider case 2. A is sitting second to the left of D. So D has to face north. Only then A can sit second to the left of D in this position. Now it's given A faces the same direction as H. Since H faces north, A also will face north. So now mark D facing north and mark A here second to the left of D also facing north because A faces the same direction as H. Now it's given the person sitting at the extreme ends face opposite directions. So if D is facing north, then the person sitting at the other extreme end will face south. So mark this position facing south. Now in case 2, this position is already occupied by A. So there are 2 positions remaining for the remaining 2 persons G and C. It's given that C faces the same direction as D. Now we know that D faces north. So C also should face north. So obviously C cannot sit at the extreme end because the person sitting at the extreme end is facing south. So this will be the position for C facing north, and the remaining position facing south will be occupied by G. So this is the final arrangement. So now this is the final arrangement of the positions for A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. Based on this final arrangement, let's answer the given questions. Who among the following sits at the extreme end? You are given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. You have to find out who sits at the extreme end. At the extreme ends, you will see G and D are sitting. So among the options, option D, G is the correct answer. How many persons sit between H and B? You are given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So you have to find out how many persons sit between H and B. H and B. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 persons sitting between H and B. So the correct answer is option D, 4. How many persons face south? You're given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So you have to find out how many persons face south. G faces south, F faces south, that's all. So 2 persons face south. So the correct answer is option B, 2. What is true regarding C? You are given 5 options here and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Let's examine each of the options so that we can find out which of the options is true regarding C. Now option A says C sits second to the left of F. Now second to the left of F, 1, 2 will be B. So B is sitting second to the left of F. So option A is wrong. Option A is not true regarding C. Now option B says 2 persons sit between C and B. Between C and B there are 3 persons. So again option B is not true regarding C. Option C says D is an immediate neighbor of C. But the immediate neighbors of C are H and E. So option C also is not true regarding C. Option D states C faces north. C faces north. This is correct. So option D is true regarding C. So the correct answer is option D, C faces north. 4 of them are alike in a certain way. Which among the following does not belong to that group. You are given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Let's examine each of the options and see which of these options does not belong to the group. Now option A is G and C. G and C. So here you can see that between G and C there is only one person sitting. Option B is E and H. E and H. Again there is only one person sitting between E and H. Option C is B and F. B and F. Again there's only one person sitting between B and F. Option D is A and D. A and D. Here also there's only one person sitting between A and D. Option E, C and A. C and A. Here there are two persons sitting between C and A. So obviously excepting for option E, C and A, in all the other options there's only one person sitting between the given two persons. So the correct answer is option E, C and A. Study the following information carefully and answer the given questions. 7 persons A, B, C, D, E, F and G are sitting in a row but not necessarily in the same order. Some of them are facing north while some of them are facing south. Not more than 2 persons sitting together face the same direction. A sits exactly in the middle of the row. Only 2 persons sit between C and D. C sits second to the left of A. Only one person sits between B and D. Both the immediate neighbors of C face south. E sits to the immediate right of D. G sits second to the right of F. B faces opposite direction to that of C. So now here we are given that 7 persons are sitting in a row. So first draw a straight horizontal line and mark 7 places for these 7 persons. Next, find out if there is any direct information which will help you to fix the position of the person. Now here A sits exactly in the middle of the row is direct information which will help you to fix the position of A. Continue searching for statements which refer to A so that you can uh, continue from that statement to solve the problem. A sits exactly in the middle of the row. So since there are 7 persons in the row, you can easily fix A in the middle of the row. Now C sits second to the left of A. This gives rise to two possibilities. Now supposing this is the position of A exactly in the middle of the row, then A can face north. So C can sit second to the left of A in this position. This is case 1. Or A can sit in the middle of the row facing south and C sits second to the left of A in this position. This is case 2. It's given only 2 persons sit between C and D. So in case 1, you can mark the position of D here. Then you'll see that there are only 2 persons sitting between C and D. So mark the D's position here. You can see that there are 2 persons sitting between C and D. In case 2, you can mark D's position here so that there are 2 persons between C and D. So mark D here and you can see that there are 2 persons sitting between C and D. It's given that only one person sits between B and D. Now in case 1, B can sit in this position so that there is only one person sitting between B and D, or B can sit in this position so that there will be only one person sitting between B and D. So in case 1, B can sit either in this position or in this position. In case 2, B can sit here so that there is only one person sitting between B and D, or B can sit here so that there is only one person sitting between B and D. So in case 2, B can sit either here or here so that there is only one person between B and D. So case 1 looks like this and case 2 looks like this now. It's given that both the immediate neighbors of C face south. So mark both the immediate neighbors of C facing south in case 1, and in case 2 also mark the immediate neighbors of C facing south. It's given that E sits to the immediate right of D. So E can sit to the immediate right of D only if D faces north. If D faces north, you can place E here. If D faces south, then immediate right of D is already occupied by A. So obviously now D has to face north so that E can sit immediate to the right of D. So mark D facing north and mark E in this position in case 1. In case 2, E sits immediate to the right of D only if D faces south. If D faces south, then immediate right of D will be this position for E. So mark D facing south and mark E in this position, immediate right of D in case 2. Now it's given G sits second to the right of F. Now F cannot sit in this place because there are no positions to the right of F. F cannot sit in this position because if F faces north, then there are no positions to the right of F. And if F faces south, then the second to the right of F is this position, which has already been occupied by D. So this won't be the place for G. So finally, the only position left for F is this one. So here F is facing south, and second to the right of F will be this position for G. Now you can fix the position of B here. So finally you can fix the position of G here, F here and B here in case 1. In case 2, F cannot sit here because if it faces north, then the second to the right of F will be this position, which has already been occupied by D. So G cannot sit here. If F faces south, then there is no position second to the right of F. This also cannot be the position for F because second to the right of F is already occupied by D. So the only place left for F is this place. So second to the right of F will be this place, which can be occupied by G. So you can fix the position of B here. So in case 2, fix the position of B here. G's position will be this place and F's position will be at this place in case 2. Now case 1 looks like this and case 2 looks like this. It's given that not more than two persons sitting together face the same direction. Now you can see here that in case 2, D, A and G are facing south. So 3 persons are facing the same direction. So case 2 can be eliminated. Now you're left with only case 1. It's given that B faces opposite direction to that of C. So C is here. Now supposing C faces south, then G, C and F will face south. And since 3 persons cannot face the same direction, C has to face north. Now if C faces north, then B faces opposite direction to that of C. So B will face south. So mark C facing north and mark B facing south in case 1. Also, if E faces north, then A, D and E will face the same direction. Since not more than 2 persons sitting together can face the same direction, you have to mark E facing south. So in case 1, mark E facing south. So finally you get this seating arrangement for case 1. So this is the final seating arrangement for A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Based on this final seating arrangement, let's answer the given questions. How many persons are facing north? You're given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So you have to find out how many persons are facing north. Here C is facing north, A is facing north and D is facing north. So there are 3 persons facing north. The correct answer is option C, 3. Who among the following sits second to the right of B? You're given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Now to find out who sits second to the right of B. So B is here, second to the right of B is D. So the correct answer is option C, D. How many persons are sitting between G and A? You're given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. So you have to find out how many persons are sitting between G and A. G and A. There are 2 persons sitting between G and A. So the correct answer is option C, 2. Which of the following does not belong to the group? You're given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Now examine each of these options with the given final seating arrangement. Option A is A. So A faces north. Option B is B. B faces south. Option C is E. E faces south. Option D is F. F faces south. Option E is G. G faces south. So clearly you can see that here B, E, F and G face south, whereas A faces north. So obviously A is the one that does not belong to the group. So the correct answer is option A, A. Which of the following statements is definitely true? You're given 5 options and you have to find out which of these options is the correct one. Let's examine each of the options and find out which of these statements is definitely true. Option A states F faces north, but in the given seating arrangement F faces south. So this is not true. Option B states B sits to the right of F. B sits to the right of F, but in the given seating arrangement B sits to the left of F. So this is also not true. Option C says only two persons sit between A and C. Between A and C. Between A and C, there's only one person. So this is also not true. Option D says D sits to the immediate right of E. D sits to the immediate right of E. This is true. So option D is the correct answer. Viewers, please go through this video till you have understood the concept clearly. Practice more such problems to increase your speed and also to be perfect with the concept. Also watch our video for solved problems on the topic linear seating arrangement part 3, where people will be arranged in two different rows usually facing each other. If you have liked this video, please like, subscribe and share this video. Thank you.